the last Sunday, it was sad. The last Sunday that we had service there, it was sad.
By the early 2000s, PCM had begun experiencing the same trend Benson had 2 decades prior. Despite strong member participation, an overall decline in membership was becoming noticeable. Still, the congregation maintained a strong mission focus as well as a thriving music program, youth ministry, and church life. Across town, Benson was gearing up for their 100th anniversary in 2006.
And it was huge. We spent 2 years planning, and it was a wonderful year. I'm very glad that we were able to do that before, things had to close the doors, because it was very cool and meaningful, and people came back for lots of different events.
Unfortunately, despite the celebrations, membership was still spiraling downward. Concern was growing about the future of the church. Within a few years, church leaders were beginning to have lengthy discussions about how and if they could maintain the church and what the future could look like for the congregation. Back at PCM, Reverend Robert Kiefer was hired as pastor in 2013. He recognized PCM was still a strong congregation with active membership. However, there was also a problem. The facility was in desperate need of repair and updating. Something needed to be done. Meanwhile, at Benson, the situation was growing more dire as leaders recognized they could no longer maintain the facility while also maintaining an effective ministry.
It was part of the reason we decided to close our doors and merge, because we were spending so much money on the building and not able to do mission projects or any of the other things that we wanted to do, because we were just trying to maintain a building with fewer and fewer people that was meant for 900. And that gets to be very difficult.
Church members came to the realization that closing the building was likely.
No, we're not closing the doors. We're never closing the doors. I'm not closing the doors.
But we had to do something. I mean, we couldn't afford the building anymore. It was just at that point.
Finally decided, okay, we're not doing what we could be doing or should be doing. We're just trying to maintain a building, which isn't what church is.
Soon, Benson leadership was in discussion with other Presbyterian churches about merger options.
And we were in conversation with another Presbyterian church, a serious conversation, and when vote came down, they voted not to merge with us. And it was very deflating for us, because we had spent probably 2 years in that conversation with them.
Well, how about us? Come nest with us. You can be who you are, your own session and everything, and we got plenty of office space. I'm sure we could find an office for you all to use, and just come worship with us. That's how it started.
Bob Kiefer, to tell you the honest truth, Bob Kiefer came to us about possibly, nesting here at PCM, because he felt that we would be a good fit for PCM.
You were doing a lot of the same things that we were doing. Worship was important. Mission, you had a big music program. You had bells, you had choir, you had Sunday schools going. Not that we had a lot of kids in those days, but you seemed to be pretty well matched with the things that we did and the things that we believed.
In June of 2015, having already been sold, Benson Presbyterian would close the doors on the building.
After they had nested with us for a long time, they met together as a people, as a congregation, and said, we want to stay here and make this a joint ministry, and not just be our family living in someone else's home, but make this our home. Their congregation approached us. Could we merge?
By 2016, The long overdue work had begun to overhaul the building and add space. With the merger occurring in 2016, the two church families started coming together.
I think they've expanded our idea of mission since they came from a more central Omaha location and had that vibrant church for all those years.
A vital mission and presence in their neighborhood there. I think they brought that feeling here that we, again, enforcing, you have to be involved in mission. What's the need that you see closest, and what do we do about it? And that's, I think, where the welcome tables come from. And the Benson women have just been marvelous. I shouldn't say Benson women, but it is them.
And I'm going to say that the people who were active in leadership at the Benson Church are active in the leadership of this church, and that makes me very happy to see.
I've stopped thinking about, oh, that's a former Benson person, that's a former PCM person. We're all members of this community here and now.
I think the family is working really well, and as far as I can tell, pretty much engaged in continuing to try to create the future.
And so, two have become one. The history of two churches blended together into one story, a story of service to the community and dedication to the teachings of Jesus Christ. We celebrate our 120th anniversary this summer. Now is the time to ensure our future for the next 120 years.